Garage with a demonstration of the Chicago Electric 500 amp battery load tester. This is basically a big resistance load tester. Has a resistance knob, voltage gauge, tells you what your volt's at when you start and when you're under load, and your current gauge. Top is amps, middle is the amp hours the battery is usually rated for, and below is the cold cranking amps, the battery rating. It comes with a pretty nice little cord, pretty heavy duty clamps. And for this test, we're going to be using a Walmart EverStart 29 deep cycle marine battery. It's a deep cycle battery, not a regular starting battery. This one is 818. August of 2018. Right now it is June of 2021, so it's almost a 3-year-old battery. This battery has 845 cold cranking amps. So when we look on the gauge, we're going to be looking in about this range, a rating somewhere in this range for a brand new battery. But just keep in mind, this one's a 3-year-old, and I normally see 3 to 5 years of life out of these batteries at best. So start out, disconnect at least one terminal of the battery, connect your positive to the battery terminal, make sure it's on there solid, negative, verify, make sure you get the negative to the negative, positive to the positive. Okay. Two things. One, make sure there's some kind of protection between you and the battery. You are going to put it under a load. Safety glasses, at the very least, a shield would be better. And we're going to go ahead and load it up. Now what will happen is it'll start loading up. You'll see the currents go up. You'll see the voltage starts to drop. There are different temperatures here depending on the outside ambient temperature of the battery. It's pretty warm here right now. It's about 85 to 90 degrees. So expect to see the voltage drop and the current draw rise. It'll do this for about 10 to 15 seconds at most, and then you'll hear an alarm beep, and at that point you back off on the resistance, and that you'll be able to see what the maximum current draw the battery is capable of providing. So let's go ahead and start. Resistance will slowly start to come up. See the current starting to go up. Now, this is a big battery. We're going to go all the way up on the knob. Now this battery is not so healthy. Most we got there, that's about half. Alarm goes off, telling you it's heated up. Back off the current. You can smell the resistor and you can feel the case starting to heat up. And we're back on. So we're doing good on the normal voltage. The baseline voltage is almost just under, right around 13. So remove the disconnect the batteries. Positive first, negative second. Battery's disconnected. Again, that is a 29 deep cycle EverStart marine battery, August of 2018 stamp. And this is the Chicago Electric, item number 91129, available at Harbor Freight. If you have a good battery, you should get your rated cold cranking amps, and generally about half that in current draw, which is the top gauge. And your voltage, you want to make sure your voltage never drops lower than the temperature during the test. You turn the knob till the temperature of the test hits at the lowest case. So this test showed the battery to be less than probably 50–60% of its capacity. So this battery is getting close to replacement. In any case, Big Wrench Garage for the Harbor Freight 500 amp Chicago Electric battery tester, item number 91129. I'm going to go ahead and repeat test of the same battery. Again, the negative to the negative, positive to the positive. Any connections to the battery, at least one disconnected. Now we're going to start out. Notice our starting voltage is in the green zone. At good voltage. It is showing about a little over 13. I'll have to check that. Let's make sure this gauge is correct. We're going to go ahead and repeat test of the same battery. It's an EverStart 29 deep cycle, 845 cold cranking amps. August 2018 rating. We added a clip-on voltmeter to compare to the Harbor Freight analog gauge, and I found that sometimes these gauges can be out of adjustment. These analog gauges may need a little adjustment. Right now it's showing 13 and maybe a tenth and a quarter, and the digital meter is showing 12.9, so slightly off. So keep that in mind when using these analog gauges, that they may be out of adjustment. So we're going to go ahead and cover the battery. Keep in mind you are load testing this, so you want to protect yourself. Safety glasses, face shield. This is a lead acid battery. Okay, we're going to start out. Voltage is good. Temperature inside here is 80 to 90 degrees. Currently no load. Keep in mind this is a resistor. It does get hot. We're going to go ahead and crank up the resistance. Okay, resistance is almost all the way in. Yep, that was all the way in. You see it backs off. Again, we're going to go all the way in, all the way up. That's full resistance. Knob doesn't go anymore. Wait to hear the alarm. You can see the the current dropping pretty quick. Voltage drops down to 10. Back off the resistance. And that's a complete load test. This battery is showing okay. It's not the best, but then again, it is a 3-year-old battery. So that is a fairly decent test, but not perfect. You can see the amps drop off pretty fast on the test. Keep in mind when you use these resistance heaters, you have to wait for them to cool down. You can't just jump from battery to battery. It takes a few minutes for them to cool back down as I keep a fan on it. Anyway, voltage after the test, 12.7, showing 13, so I'm going to have to adjust that meter. And that is the Chicago Electric from Harbor Freight 500 amp load tester. It's a good load tester. I've used it quite often. It's a good way to show you, exactly what the battery can do. If you have a dead battery, the current will drop off really quick when it's under load, or it won't even be able to hold the minimum voltage for the test. So it's definitely a good analog way of seeing the condition of the battery. And these batteries, these 29 size deep cycles are about the maximum this load tester can handle. But they can do jet ski batteries, small Walmart batteries, all the way up to these 29 deep cycles. It is a 12 volt tester. It's not for 24 volts. Very good tool. Good tool for the price. A lot better than the small cheese grater Lowe's resistor. It's Harbor Freight, Chicago Electric, 500 amp load tester, item 91129, available at Harbor Freight, saying about the $45 to $50 range. Big Wrench Garage.